Okay, so today we are learning about adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. The very first thing that we need to know is what exactly is a polynomial. So a polynomial is an algebraic expression with more than one term. For example, 3x squared plus 2x. All right, this is an algebraic expression. Notice the x's, and it has more than one term. Now, this is a special type of polynomial called a binomial because there are only two terms. Bi means two. Traditionally, when we're talking about polynomials, you're going to see them with three terms. We're going to say plus 5. All right, so polynomial. A coefficient. This is the number in front of the variable. And remember the variable, those are letters. So going back to our example, 3x squared plus 2x plus 5. 3 here is in front of the letters. It's in front of the variable x squared. So it's a coefficient. The 2 is a coefficient. It's in front of a variable. It's in front of the x. The 5 is not a coefficient. No variables here, no letters. So this is not a coefficient. This is a constant. And it's called a constant because this value never changes. All right. So when adding and subtracting polynomials, combine coefficients of like terms, but do not do anything to manipulate the exponents. Remember, when we're adding and subtracting numbers with exponents, the exponents are just part of the number that makes the like term, right? So we can combine x squared with x squared, x to the fourth with x to the fourth, x's with x's. We remember this. I know we just did a whole unit on exponents and how to combine them and manipulate them, but right now we're just adding and subtracting, so you don't need to mess with the exponents other than just to add their coefficients together. So looking at the first one, x squared. Notice this is addition, so I don't have to do anything with the signs in my second set of parentheses. So 5x squared. Do I have any other x squared? No. Okay. So 5x squared, and we've done that one. 9x. Do I have any other x's? Ooh, yeah, right here. So positive 9x minus 6x gives us a positive 3x. So those are done. 1. Okay. That's just a constant. It has no x's. Do I have any other constants? Oh, yeah, 8. So 1 plus 8 is 9. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. Do I have anything else I haven't added yet? Oh, yeah, right here. 2x cubed. I have nothing else I can combine that with, so we're just going to carry it down. So plus 2x cubed. And now we have officially added these together, but we need to make sure that they're in the proper order. Remember what I said about being mathematically, grammatically correct? So we put them in order by starting with the highest order exponent. So our biggest number here is 3. So 2x cubed. Then I go down to the next one, which should be x squared, plus 5x squared. And the next is just x's, plus 3x. And then we go just to our constants, which have no variables at all, plus 9. All right, let's go on to the next one. Notice here that we have subtraction. And anytime we have subtraction in front of a value in parentheses, we need to change the subtraction to addition and change the signs of every single thing in parentheses. So this becomes minus 6x minus 12x squared plus 9x to the fourth plus 7. All right, then those work left to right. So I have a 12x squared here. Do I have any more x squareds? Oh, yeah, right here, 12x squared. Positive 12x squared minus 12x squared. Well, that's just 0, right? They cancel each other out. So those go away. Next, negative 6x. Do I have any more that are just x's? Right here. Negative 6x. So negative 6x minus 6x, negative 12x. Next, 7. Just a constant. Any other constants? Yeah, 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. So plus 14. The last thing, negative 9x to the fourth. Do I have any other x to the fourth? Yep. Negative 9x to the fourth plus 9x to the fourth. Well, that just cancels each other out, so 0. So my answer is just 12x plus 14. And it's already in the proper order. I've got the x's first and the constant last. So those are not that difficult. All right. Next, when multiplying polynomials, use the distributive property. Be sure to follow the properties of exponents and combine like terms where possible. Okay, you all remember how to do this. So remember, we're looking at the first one. This is a binomial, a two-part polynomial, times the binomial, a two-part polynomial. When we see ones like this, we use FOIL. Remember FOIL, first outsides, insides, last. It's also called double distribution or rainbow or rocket ship or over, under, whatever you want to call it. The biggest deal is that you recognize the pattern here. All right, so let's look. First, so I'm taking my first term times the first term in my second polynomial. Outsides, I'm taking my first term times the second term in my polynomial. You see this? My first term times all of the terms in this polynomial. That'll be important in a minute. Then I'm going to go back to insides. So I'm looking at my second term of my first polynomial, and I'm multiplying it times the first term in the second one. Then I'm taking the second one in my first polynomial and multiplying it by the second term in the second one. So first outsides, insides, last. But what I really want you to see here and focus on today is I've taken each term in my first polynomial and I've multiplied it by each term in my second polynomial. You'll see why that's so important here in just a minute. All right, but for right now, let's actually just do the math. So x times x is x squared. So outsides, x times positive 6 is positive 6x. Insides, negative 7 times x is negative 7x. And last, negative 7 times positive 6 is negative 42. Combine my like terms in the middle, that just gives me negative x. So x squared minus x minus 42 is my answer. All right, next, let's get some more practice with distribution. So we're just going to distribute. This isn't a polynomial. It's just a single algebraic term. But we're going to distribute it to every single thing in here. Now remember, we're multiplying. So what are our rules for our exponents when we're multiplying? We add them. So 2x squared times 3x cubed gives us 6x to the 2 plus 3, which is 5. Then 2x squared times 2x squared, well, 2 times 2 is 4. And x squared times x squared, so that becomes x to the 2 plus 2 power, so x to the 4th. And then the last one, 2x squared times 2. No letters here to worry about. So this just becomes plus 4x squared. And that is our answer. All right, next one. Now this is where it becomes important that you recognize the pattern over here in the first one. All right, because now I no longer have a binomial times a binomial. I have a binomial times a trinomial, okay? A 3-term polynomial. So same process as we did for the binomial. It just looks a little different because I've got 3 pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my very first term in my binomial. I'm going to multiply it times the first term, then the second term, then the third term. So let's do that. So 2x times x squared gives me 2x cubed. Then 2x times negative 10x gives me negative 20x. And then the last, 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. All right, but I'm not done because I still have to do the second term. So I'm going to take the second term and I'm going to multiply it by every single term in my second polynomial. So this times this times this times this. Now, do you see how this the process looks kind of like this one over here? All right. You see the 2 overs and the 2 unders here? Well, this is the same process. I just have 3 overs and 3 unders. All right, so let's work on this. So negative 3 times x squared is negative 3x squared. So minus 3x squared. Negative 3 times negative 10x gives me negative 30x. And I'm going to write this under here. Negative 30x. Negative 3 times negative 2 gives me negative 6. hang on, I just realized I did this one wrong. One moment, because this should have been 2x times negative 10x should be negative 20x squared. So this needs to be written over here. So minus 30x, and I move my 3x squared over here. Even I make mistakes sometimes. It happens. Be very careful. Watch your rules. All right, so now that I've got them all lined up, we can add them together. So 2x cubed doesn't have anything to go with it, so it just carries down. Negative 20x squared minus 3x squared, so negative 23x squared. Negative 4x minus 30x, so negative 34x minus 6. All right, that brings us to 1. We're going to do, this is a trinomial times a trinomial. Same process. So take the first piece times all 3 pieces. Then take the second piece times all 3 pieces. Then you're going to take the third piece times all 3 pieces. All right, it's the same process, so I'm not going to do this. What I really want you to see is this last one. I've got 3 numbers times each other. How in the world, Mrs. McMullen, do we multiply 3 polynomials times each other? Don't panic. You just take it 2 at a time. So let's start with our first 2. Right now, we're just going to ignore the third one and pretend that he's not there. All right, so 2 binomials. Well, we know how to do that. First outsides, insides last. All right, so x times 4x gives me 4x squared. X times negative 1 gives me negative x. Insides, negative 6 times 4x gives me negative 24x. And negative 6 times negative 1 gives me positive 6. All right, then we combine our like terms. So 4x squared minus 25x plus 6. All right, so we've got that. Now we're going to multiply it by this piece. So times negative 3x plus 5. All right, so we're going to distribute the first one to all 3 pieces. So negative 3x times 4x squared is going to give me negative 12x cubed. Negative 3x times negative 25x is going to give me positive 75x squared. And negative 3x times 6 is going to give me a negative 18x. Then I'm going to distribute my second term to all 3 pieces. All right, so 5 times 4x squared is going to give me positive 20x squared. 5 times negative 25x is going to give me negative 125x. And 5 times 6 gives me 30. Notice how I've kept all of my same exponents, all of my like terms lined up so we can just add them. All right, so just add them and get your answer. All right. Special kinds of problems that you have to watch for, especially after having had the exponent unit, where we wanted to distribute the exponent to pieces inside parentheses. All right, this has addition. All right, with addition and subtraction, we do not distribute the exponent. All right, so you can't say 3 plus x squared. That does not equal x squared plus 9. You can't just distribute the exponent because of the addition. All right, because what does x plus 3 squared mean? What does anything squared mean? It means that number times itself. So x plus 3 squared does not equal x squared plus 9. It equals x plus 3 times x plus 3. All right, so let's look at the first example. 2x plus 3 squared. Okay, do not distribute the exponent. Instead, remember that squared means this number times itself. So this is 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. One moment, I'm writing too fast for my thing to keep up. All right, what about the next one? Well, this is cubed. Do I distribute the exponent? No, we don't distribute the exponent just because it says cubed. So what does cubed mean? the number times itself 3 times. So instead, this is going to be x minus 4 times x minus 4 times x minus 4. Likewise, x plus 5 to the 4th power. All right, do I just distribute the 4? No, I do not do that. Okay, if the process doesn't change just because our exponent got bigger. So all this is, all to the 4th power means is this number times itself 4 times. So I've got x plus 5 times x plus 5. Forgive me, I'm writing faster than my smart notebook can keep up. Times x plus 5 times x plus 5. Now you already know how to multiply these. We've already done all of the hard work up there, all right, earlier on in this lesson. So, but I want to tell you a strategy for doing these ones to the 4th. Multiply these two together first, right? And then do these two together. But look, don't do the work twice, all right? You notice how these two terms are the same as these two terms? Once you know what this is, multiply it times itself. All right, so let's look at this. So x times x, x squared. X times positive 5 plus 5x. 5 times positive x plus 5x. 5 times 5 plus 25. This is going to be x squared plus 10x plus 25. Well, you know what? If I multiply x plus 5 times x plus 5 a second time, I'm going to get the same answer. So then I'm going to multiply this times itself. So x squared plus 10x plus 25. And you know how to do that. First term times all 3 terms. The second one, second term times all 3 terms in the second polynomial. Third term times all 3 terms in the second polynomial. All right, that's all I have for today, guys. If you have any questions, as always, send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks very much.